we should probably give it a go. I don't know if you're ready.
Okay. I am indeed ready.
You're indeed
Does my
ready.
microphone sound fine?
It sounds perfect today.
Thank you.
And with that, let's have a warm welcome to our viewers, or in this case, listeners.
Welcome, everyone.
To the next. It's not a deck tech, it's a set review.
Yay.
I was just about to say deck tech. We just had that one. If you didn't see it, check it out. I will link it in the description. It's about Ivy. That's a card we will not cover in this set review because, yeah, our opinion is stated in this deck tech.
Yep.
But let's jump right into it with a very cool Angel Wizards has printed, which is called Serra Paragon.
It's definitely a big guy. It's a 4-drop, so the requirement is pretty steep. When we are talking about cards for Duel Commander, we usually don't really look at 4-drops. But this one has a lot of impact. You can immediately cast a permanent with mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard.
Yeah.
And,
as well as playing a land.
And you can also play lands. And if they destroyed immediately, the card you just got back, you gain 2 life.
Yeah.
So that's also nice.
It's really cool. Like you can even reanimate, so to say, or replay planeswalkers, artifacts, and all that stuff. So that it really says permanent. I think it's a very good card for pot decks.
Yeah.
Apart from that, maybe there is this Angel Commander. I have no idea how she's called.
The 2-drop that taps for mana.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought about that one. Just having another value Angel for 4 mana isn't too bad.
Curve's nice with the dog.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very nice. I think a pot in value pot decks, which is a very very limited archetype. It's not the most popular thing. It has gotten a small comeback in recent.
Depends who you ask.
Well, I've seen it somewhere in our local community, but I'm maybe I'll see the angel there and never again. But then I've seen an angel, and that's nice.
Good. I like the artwork as well. It's a beautiful card.
It's nice. Yeah, angels are always cool.
But there's another white card, which is quite an upgrade to, if we look at Enchantress decks, an interaction spell that's already played, which is Banishing Light.
Yeah.
So Leyline Binding is instant speed, and in, I think you might even, I don't know if you consider to play this in 3-color decks. Probably not, but definitely.
I think for 3 it's a bit rough.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I think we already have an effect like this for 3 mana. I think in double white or something. I'm not sure if that says non-impermanent though. So, but yeah, I think once this becomes 2 mana, it's all out. It's a great card.
Yep, especially because apart from bounce and permanent destruction or stuff like Kazali Pride Mage and Outland Liberator and whatsoever, it's quite hard to interact with enchantments. So in some situations, this means it will stay removed as if you would have played a normal removal spell.
Yeah, and if you've used this for 2 mana and on instant speed, you usually went up in tempo if they removed the enchantment, so that's also nice.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, and if this costs 1, yeah, you're really binding out here.
That's right. Okay.
But yeah, it's another card that really benefited from the recent Triumph prints. So 4 and 5 color decks have a lot of triumphs if they go the control route, so they can usually get this online for 2 very very easily. That's the main issue with 3 colors, also that you're not really safe in getting all your 3 land types into play.
True. I mean, nowadays there's a Triumph for everyone, but that's
well, it's only a single one, and
yeah, correct.
Yeah, you only have 9 fetches. So
next up we have Anointed Peacekeeper, and when I saw the card, it's a 3/3 vigilance for 3. It kind of reminded me of Elite Spellbinder. Actually, this one has a bit of more text added, so it also blocks activated abilities. And when Martin and me were talking about it, he was like, yeah, you gotta block Underworld Breach Lotus Petal combo with it. And I was like, no you don't, because it says unless there are mana abilities. But in the end, you do, because Lotus Petal still costs 2.
and that's too much.
Yeah, no matter in which zone it is. So
yeah,
that's quite a nice ability. Probably we'll see it in White Weenie every now and then.
Yep.
Let's find it out.
Maybe in 2-color.
Maybe also in 2-color, right?
Yeah. I think the floor of just naming a commander is fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
Consider this.
And the buddy is quite okay for 3 mana. If you have some stacksy decks like Emara, for example, something like this, some hate beerish types might also feature this.
In general, I feel like since the partners have been banned, hand information has been a bit more important than it used to be. Because back then it was like, okay, I see my opponent's hand. I still can't do things against Tymna and Dufasios. Okay, I guess I will just have to remove the partners or whatever. And nowadays you have like, picking your targets for your removal wisely is a bit more important. And so getting some hand information, seeing what threats your opponent maybe has lined up for you in the future is definitely good information.
Yep, that's for sure. Then there is a card I was personally very happy about. It's Rona's Vortex. Every now and then I like to play Leovold. This is, for example, a deck that, or basically Dimir X decks that are not Esper. Currently there are 2 Sphinxes around, haunting the meta game, so to say. But yeah, like Dimir itself is yet, I would say, suffering from bad early interaction. And we talked about that prior to this podcast. There were times in which you even played Vaporsnack in Leovold. And when I played Tevesh and Malcolm in October, I was kind of forced to include stuff like this figure and whatsoever. And this card is just so much better.
Well, it's not strictly better. You still want to hard removal sometimes, but I think the 4 mana mode is cheap enough for this to be tried out. Not being able to bounce your own creatures can be rough sometimes. I think that's something that happens sometimes. So not being able to do that is a bit meh, but it's a very interesting card.
True. It kind of reminded me of Blood Chief's Ascension.
Yeah,
it doesn't have a kicker. It does have a kicker, right? Yeah, it has a kicker as well. Okay, so then there is Combat Research, which is a card we've featured in Ivy, of course. But
obviously,
yes. But since this is pretty much the first curiosity that also comes with, attached to legendaries, comes with some kind of soft protection, you could even consider to run this card in more than just tempo-ish decks.
And even just having a third curiosity is nice. I think building those decks usually had the issue that you did not have that reliable of a card advantage engine to make use of all your shitty 1/1s that you played the turns before. Back then you used to have that with like Tymna decks and Ludovic decks. And while Ludovic is still like kind of around with Ludovic
Jeska
and Jeska, it's not what it used to be. And getting more of those effects maybe gives you the opportunity to play like a weenie in the command zone and then get your card advantage via the enchantments that you play in your 99. So I think getting more of those effects is very nice if you want to build a deck around small flying creatures.
Yeah, true. I think the last time was when people played something in this direction was with Azure, because it already has some protection.
Right.
And now not the debate, but the topic came up again with Wilson, because it also comes with some protection. Ivy goes in a different direction, but again, 2 for 1. Yeah, it's a cool card, and it will definitely see some play every now and then, I think. Another card that we'll see play, I would say, is Cut Down, a new CMC1 black interaction spell.
Yeah, those cards are always nice because they start large red threads where people discuss them for different formats, and you see like a billion cards and people get really up in their arms. Oh, is this the new Fatal Push? Or is this the new whatever? And it's always a very cool thought experiment to think about those cards and look at the metagame, look at the creatures played, look at the commanders played, and see, what would be the issues with a card like this, which has a very, very weird limitation. And we had a small look, and it looks fine. It has some obvious issues against like larger control decks that play like Tivit and stuff like that, where you probably won't find a target for the whole game.
Wall of Omens.
Wall of Omens, yeah, Snapcaster Mage, maybe we'll find one, but you probably won't be happy if you remove those.
True.
But you probably won't be happy about your Fatal Push either, and you will probably play that card. So maybe this is the black removal that we just talked about that you want, because it removes the dork, and that's usually the most important thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, as I just said, I'm happy to not run this figure anymore in 2022 in Duel Commander. If we're talking Pauper, that's fine, but not for Duel Commander.
Yeah.
But talking about Pauper, there is a common we have included.
Yes.
And it's Shadow Prophecy. Really cool card. 3 mana instant speed, and it brings back Domain. So you look at the top X cards, and you draw 2 of them, and the rest goes into your graveyard. So instant speed is definitely an upside, and also that you have a mill instead of putting back the cards on the bottom of the library.
This looks very good. I feel like if you're playing 4 or 5 color control, you getting your card advantage can be kind of rough because your commanders are usually very high CMC, and most of them are like very draw go. Like Nif Mizzet is very draw go until you reach the big turn. Kyoda is very draw go.
True.
And having instant speed, draw 2 for 3 mana is very nice. So you can just, in a turn where you probably won't lose the game if you don't spend your 3 mana interacting with your opponent, playing this at the end of the turn if you let your opponent play their whatever mediocre 3-drop, and you play this and you find your lightning bolt to get back the tempo. It's very, very nice.
Yeah, if you have, I was just thinking about if you play it in a 5-color deck, you go in a dig through time direction. Of course, it's not comparable, but I mean, you look close at 5 cards. Yeah,
5 cards is a lot.
If you play it in a 4-color deck, you have something like a Memory Deluge just for 1 mana less, and as I said, it's most often it's much more easy to abuse or use cards in your graveyard compared to in your library. Obviously, stuff like Flashback and Escape these days and whatsoever can make use of that. Let's see, maybe we'll see it somewhere. I would not expect it in Nif Mizzet Reborn, as
probably not.
This deck is kind of stuffed with all the 2-color spells. But
maybe they will try it out.
Yeah,
I feel like Nif Mizzet players are very experimental in general. They just try out everything. So
fair enough. Yeah.
Let's see. Talk about cards that you could get into your graveyard with Shadow Prophecy and then get back.
The Squee. It squeezed back. Shoutouts to the Goblin Gang. So you got it. You asked for it. Here it is. A new Goblin Legendary. I mean, it's not. I think it's not a spectacular card. It has haste. It brings more goblins, but the last ability is basically escape. So you always get it back, which in some decks might be a nice mana sink every now and then.
And it's not even that expensive, right?
It's
4
fine.
mana for 2/2 haste with a 1/1 attached to it. Everybody's playing the new Bugbears then. Like, people are playing that card in Legacy, and this card is a little bit similar because you can get a value for mana.
Yeah, I didn't think about the Bugbear. It's a Bugbear on stick. Yeah, cool. Right.
And I think it's a bit more mid-rangey than what you could do with the Bugbear, because Bugbear is just an aggressive land. You can play it in Red Deck Wins. Don't think this has a set place in Red Deck Wins. Maybe people will try it out. Maybe we've seen people play a pretty mid-rangey flavor of Curry and play cards like Goblin Realmmaster and stuff like that. Maybe then this card might also find a way in there, because especially those decks are looking for more value to generate over the time of the game.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's not great, and we'll see what good means for cards like this.
I think in the end, the Goblin guys will tell us. Yeah, so we can count on them. But when you were talking about Karizev, I saw Radha's Firebrand, and it's an interesting card. I think it's an unconditional Earthshaker Kenra, so to say. So you get to I just wanted to say you get to block an opponent's creature. You can deny an opponent's creature blocking your creature turn by turn. It doesn't have haste, but the body is slightly better. The domain ability doesn't matter that much to red deck wins, but we thought about decks like Saskia, for example. You have for 2 additional mana, you can have like a 5/3 that says your opponent's questing beast, for example, can't block, which is quite powerful, I think, especially in Saskia. So this card might see some play every now and then.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think it's that strong on its own. I think you would probably need some backup. If you play this after one drop, might be kind of nice.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, maybe this will see play.
Whenever Wizards is printing, whenever Wizards is putting the creature type warrior onto new creatures, I'm always glad that we don't have Najeela back to the format,
Yeah, right.
to be honest.
Right.
Because
right.
it feels like every third creature is a warrior, and this one would be a great addition too, and there's so many more creatures. It's crazy. I remember there was...
I think we are well past that point nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Back then I was like, oh, kind of confused by the ban, and now I'm like, oh, kind of confused by the people who want it unbanned.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion.
It's good the way it is, I would say. At least I'm glad. I enjoyed the deck a lot. Najeela is a cool card, but I don't need it back. What I really appreciate, the fact that there is a card that has been a planeswalker so far, and now they've made it a creature as well, which is Soul of Windgrace. It offers a cool commander for Junt lands.
Well, some people want Najeela back. I want my lands back from the graveyard.
Exactly. And this even triggers on attack, not only enter the battlefield, which is quite cool, I think.
It's basically your same card.
I'm not yet sure on how relevant the discard abilities are. Some of them might be useful. I mean, in a situation in which you're flooded, you can discard them. Yeah, kind of cycle them. Maybe you can do some shenanigans with... okay, that's a very deep line. No, I was thinking about like having Crucible or Ramunap and then having bounce lands and sacrificing the bounce lands, but that's a bit too deep. Like
that's too sweet,
Dustfall and whatsoever. Yeah.
I think like having the option to gain life is always great.
Definitely.
It doesn't even matter how you can do it. It could be like for 5 mana or something. Just having the option to gain life, no matter what cost, is very, very good. And being able to prevent your opponent from just finishing you with Karizev, which is usually the way Kari wins, is you get to stabilize the board and then they kill you. And having this option is just, okay, I stabilize the board, I pay 2 mana, I bin my hand, I survive. And I win the game usually because I got the board.
You know what's good too? Imagine a card that basically from command zone can counter anything.
Wow. I would have busted.
Or almost anything. I mean, come on. Like, Ertai is really a cool upgrade to Venser.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I think there are some versions around already. I've seen more like bluish versions. I've also seen MBC versions. So which one is the successful option hasn't been tested yet. I mean, the card isn't released yet, so that will take some time. But it also, the 3/2 body in a control-ish manner can serve as a game finisher. You have some really, I mean, basically you have the same synergies you can also enable with Venser, for example, playing Parallax Tide and exiling 5 lands and then stifling your leaving the battlefield trigger.
Right. And then drawing a card as well.
Yeah, even drawing a card. That's great. True.
Yeah. Is there a black wave?
I don't think so. I think there's only the white and the... I only know of the white and the blue one.
Okay.
yeah, let's see. I think it definitely has a lot of potential for Duel Commander, and I really like the special version of the card, the Mosaic.
Yeah, that one is very, very nice.
Yeah. And Martin, you are no.
I am the local Gennaro expert.
I just want
just use that slur for me. I'm fine with it.
I just want to say,
might not be politically correct, but I am the Gennaro player.
You're like I was rather saying that you're like the band enthusiast, but that's not right.
No, that's not true.
That's rather me. But Shanna is out, and I think we had a deck tag some time ago regarding band commanders.
Did we?
Come on. Of
Wait.
course.
Okay.
We had a deck tag regarding Rigo and Falco.
Oh, right.
And unfortunately, none of these commanders. I mean, Falco sees some play, but Rigo not really.
Yeah.
It turned out that it takes too long to finish games with one power buddies.
Yeah, and it's so clunky. It's like
exactly.
Yeah.
But I think Shanna could actually be a decent band commander, or maybe even a good one. At least taking the position of Gennaro.
Let's hope so.
I mean, 3/3 lifelink. Yeah, it's boltable. Okay, Gennaro is boltable too, but having a mana sink for your dorks whenever you gain life and drawing cards is pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think it might just have the same problems as Gennaro. But at least with this one, if you connect once, you win it. You not to win the game, but you're getting way closer to winning the game than putting a counter on Gennaro.
Right. And then there's Meria. Kinky isn't here. Our affinity lover, or
wait, I can imitate him. Winter Orb.
Yeah, it goes in a direction. It's interesting to see some kind of an Gruul Urza here.
Urza?
Cruiser, right?
Cruiser?
Which means for our format that it's not that easy to abuse as Urza is or was. Right. Unless you build some weird 3 or 4 color piles in at least Timur colors, or maybe even adding white.
And playing this in the 99.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think even with this as a commander, it's interesting at least. It's like you can probably do some shenanigans with it. And also there's Winter Orb.
Yeah, true. I mean, I'm not sure about that card as a commander. The fact that it says you have to tap non-token artifacts makes it significantly worse, but still I think it has potential. And I love the artwork. An Alpha Artificer. I mean,
and any card that both generates mana and generates card draw is usually pretty good.
True.
So I think this is, there might be, I could see this banned in like 3 years when they print like 1 billion more baubles or something.
That escalated quickly.
Okay, let's say 500 million. I don't want to exaggerate that much.
Let's see. But from my experience, most often artificers are bad boys, or in this case, it's a bad girl. So let's see. We have another upgrade for. Okay, while this one was not an upgrade for Urza, it's more like a downgrade. We have an upgrade for Adelis with a bird. For some reason, Wizards is into birds recently, right? There was Falco, now there's Balmor, they've printed Ledger Shredder, which is a bird too. Anyways.
Maybe after being shut in their homes for years, people just want to fly away, so that's why they like the birds.
Okay, that was dry. Yeah, I mean, Balmor is a cool card. You have the chance to have 3/2 Trample Goblin Guide, which doesn't sound too bad to me. And apart from that, I mean, Adelis was around every now and then. These days, Ludovic and Jessica seem to be more popular. I think this one will turn the tide again.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm not a fan of these Is It aggro decks, since you run out of cards quite quickly. So, I mean, you can, deck building wise, you can make sure to include some card advantage with Laelia and whatsoever, but then again, you play a deck with counter magic and exiling counter spells with Laelia triggers or Magmatic Channeler and whatsoever isn't the best, so yeah.
I think with at least the issue always was that it was like kind of in the middle of aggressive / combo-ish, I will kill you in one turn.
Yeah.
And the control playstyle. And because you had only so many good wizards. And with this, you just slam whatever people play in red deck wins and what they used to play in Yuriko, and then you play a bunch of CMC 0 and 1 spells and just fuck shit up. Just how it goes, I think.
Yeah, I think that's taking away the tribe, the prowess being bind to tribes is a huge upside here, and also granting some evasion is definitely helpful too.
Yep.
So then there's another 2-drop, which is the first 5-color 2-drop, and since it's not possible to, or not yet possible to have 2-drop with split mana, which represents 5 colors, we just have a cycle. And we're talking about Jenson, obviously. A human druid that's ability-wise not super relevant, but also leaves a lot of flexibility, probably goes in an aggressive mid-rangey direction, build around creatures. You have the trigger that lets you scry stuff. Sometimes you even get an angel, which is cool. Why not? But I mean, it's a cool card. It's colorful. There are some Lotus-y. What is the plural of Lotus? I have no idea.
Loti?
Loti?
Loten?
Loten? I have no idea. You can tell us in the comments.
No, that's not a frog in the backyard. That's just a statue. Okay, boring.
Oh, right. Oh, that would have been awesome if that would have been some Gidrock reference or something.
I don't think this has a lot of common with Gidrock.
Obviously, these are some angels because it makes 4 white angels. But all the cards with Black Loti are are kind of cool, colorful, and I think this commander will be played just because it's a cool card and it leaves some options, and also because in combination Wizards gave us this Wayfarer, Fallaji, whatever.
Fallaji Wayfarer.
Oh yeah, makes sense. Good. I should practice the pronunciation here, but that's how it's authentic, I have to say. Yeah, I mean, it's not the first card that's... I think there is one card that has like no colors in terms of color identity, but it also says it has all colors. I think it's an uncommon CMC4. No other
it's
effects.
The guild, whatever.
Yeah, right.
But this one does not affect color identity, so this is not a 5-color commander if you could play it as a commander.
Exactly. I mean, you can play it in a mono green deck, and I think that's quite cool. It comes in handy with Jenson's ability to make an angel, since it's a multicolored card, or it has all colors. It would trigger the angel. The second line is also interesting. Multicolor spells you cast have Convoke. Might be useful every now and then.
And everybody who ever played Court of Calling knows how powerful Convoke can be.
True. Question is, who plays Court of Calling in 2022?
I have it in 1 or 2 deck lists that I recently brewed, so maybe we'll see it back on our channel.
Yeah. Probably me too. Good. There is, I think it's the... I don't know if it's the craziest card from all the cards we've discussed so far, but I think the Hourglass is really a huge upgrade again to Gidrock.
Yeah. You
have like an artifact that's targetable or searchable with a saga. It has flash, it has a synergy with Emrakul, which is played in a deck, and you have just like a third Splendid Reclamation.
And with this card, I think they can finally unban the 5 mana extra turns. because everybody's playing Urza Saga, so everybody always has this in play.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so everything is balanced right now.
I see this. Yeah, that's a fair argument.
But yeah, I think this is just Gitrog more powerful stuff for the deck.
Yeah,
just will probably play this. You will probably have this in hand often when you don't have another way to get your lands back, and just extend your combo chains and get to the cards you actually want to see.
True. I'm just thinking about it might even be relevant at some point to return creatures and enchantments and the other types too.
You take those, I think.
Yeah.
If your opponent destroyed your Splendid Reclamation, you just play this, get it back, and
yeah, exactly.
Be happy about it.
It's really cool. It's a bit costly with 4 mana, but I think it's totally fine.
I think if you get Splendid Reclamation into play, you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
I would also pay 10 mana for this, probably, and still win the game.
Yeah, true.
Because that's what Gitrog does.
What it can do, right?
It can do, right.
Yeah. So, another card we should talk about is Dihada, Binder of Wills. Why do I always struggle with pronunciations?
just say it. Just be confident in pronouncing it wrong.
Dihada. Dihada? You were on the... let's go back to the Fallaji. Dihada. Binder of Wills. Yeah, a Mardu Planeswalker, which can be played as your commander.
Right.
How do you like that one?
It's okay. I think the abilities are both fine. They're not good, but they're fine. But I think, like, from playing with Oko, we know that getting up to 7 loyalty, or 6 in that case, is very nice. So this has a lot of loyalty, and it gets more loyalty very easily.
Right, and it dodges Eliminate and
right.
Some other Planeswalker disruption Wizards has printed recently, so it's definitely interesting. I think the first thought was playing it as some kind of Reanimator deck. Yeah. I'm not quite sure if that's the best way to go. I still think it's interesting to just have a Mardu legendary good stuff.
Mid-range,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And getting treasures is also quite nice because you just can, like with Chandra Torch of Defiance, you kind of get back your mana.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can play this for maybe like 2 or 1 mana, even if you only get 1 legendary card. It's like you draw 1 card for CMC 1 Planeswalker Commander, which is very nice. Right. So that can be very strong.
Right.
I think yeah.
Yeah, it has.
The more I think about it, the better it looks. Maybe this will be playable.
It has potential for sure, and it will definitely. Let's see in which shape, but probably players might bring it to the table.
The ultimate is pretty mid. Let's phrase it like that.
That's true. The last card for today is, what is it? It's a Naya Dragon.
Yes.
Why would we talk about dragons? It's
because
simple. First of all, we have had a Tribal Wars with dragons, right?
Yes, we did.
And that one was an aggressive take. So it would play this card. It's CMC 5, 5/5, flying, Ward 2. Apparently, Ward seems to be the favorite new ability of Wizards. And with Dragon, this one is even a 4-drop. It protects other dragons too, and the triggered ability is pretty good.
Yeah. Probably won't, if you play the Snow Dragon, it probably won't trigger by combat that much because all your creatures fly, and you will just fly beyond your opponent's armies and just punch him in the face. But if you Flame Slash your opponent's 3 toughness creature, you get a dragon.
Yeah.
If you attack your opponent's Planeswalker with a large dragon and you kill it, you will probably also get a dragon because no Planeswalker has 7 loyalty or something like that. That would never happen. And yeah.
We just talked about Dihada. Yeah. And good.
Yeah.
So that's it already.
Yeah.
Actually, we wanted to limit it to 10 cards, but we thought this set has so many interesting cards that could see some play in Duel Commander. We just have to expand
I think due to like sets like Modern Horizons, we feel like, oh, this set only has like 5 interesting cards. Ooh, how can that happen when Modern Horizon sets have like 1 billion and all cards are already kind of on the ban list in our format? But yeah, this is kind of a nice set. I think the domain cards are very nice. The mid-range cards are kind of nice, and the multicolor commander is also interesting.
True.
Maybe breathe some new life into color combinations that have been kind of stale recently.
Right. And also, most of these cards, or almost all of these cards, are very balanced. Like, none of these cards is like, oh my gosh, this will break deck XYZ or something. They add some
You're saying
power.
that, and in like 1 month, we will have both Meria and the Dihada on the ban list.
Ivy, obviously, Ivy.
Oh, Ivy, yeah, of course.
People are sick of getting become immense over
12.
and over again.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to happen.
I think people are already sick from like 3 years ago when we played that card in Timo Tempo.
It's always enjoyable to do that. I can just recommend it to everyone. It's a great feeling.
It's the best time.
Yeah. I mean, you cannot play Timo Tempo anymore, but Ivy has similar vibes, so give it a try. But when we're talking about advertisement, obviously you have to subscribe to this channel in order to follow more of our deck tags, insights, in this case set reviews, and all the other formats we offer. Or
gameplay
too, obviously.
Sometimes
from time to time. That's right. I think that's it. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for listening, everyone.
And see or hear you next time
with the next set review.
I hope it will be worth it to make the next one, but let's be optimistic.
Probably. Wizards likes printing strong cards.
That's true.
Because they sell good.
Right. Good. See you then, guys. Cheers.
See you then. Bye-bye.